So, update. I survived Hurricane Irma. Apparently, there's another one that may or may not hit Florida. Woohoo. I've gotten myself a girlfriend. I'm doing very well in school. Was in a car accident, but I'm fine. My car should be out of the shop here in the next couple of days. And as of right now, I'm currently sitting out front of my doctor's office, just killing time. And I'll check back in after the appointment. So yesterday, had my doctor's appointment. I'm all fine, nothing's broken, my knee is good, so that's good news for me. And today I went to school, had this class, New Student Experience. Apparently in Florida it's a required class. I have no idea why. All they're doing is reiterating basic skills that you should have learned your freshman year of high school or at least in middle school. And if you didn't learn those, well, you're SOL. But we were going over test taking tips. The list of tips that we went through works for some people and it doesn't work for others. And one of the topics that we got on was sleep. 6 to 8 hours is ideal, yes. But if you're like me and you mainly work closing shifts, you can't get 6 to 8 hours of sleep and wake up on time for school. And he's like, well, you can control that. No, I can't. I don't know who does my schedule. I can't say, hey, give me morning shifts. And then he came back with, but you can quit. I'm like, yeah, why would I quit my job that pays my bills, pays my rent, and allows me to eat? That's not smart. And he's like, well, what's more important, school or work? Honestly, at this point in time, both, because what I do falls in line with my degree. And secondly, I need the school to get my degree to get where I want to be in the future. And we went back and forth on that for about 10 minutes, and it came up to, after you take the test, reward yourself. And I said, why the fuck would I do that? I don't know if I passed or not. I'm not going to go out and reward myself and then find out I failed, because I'm not going to reward myself for failing. I said, yeah, if it's a big test like the SAT and you get the score that's going to get you in the school that you want to go out and have fun. Reward yourself then. But if it's like a regular old math test, no. And he dropped that one and he's like, you need to reward yourself every day. I'm like, why? And he went on saying to treat yourself for accomplishing your goals that you set throughout the day. I'm like, all right, so if the only goal I set for my day was wake up, make my bed, get to school, I accomplished all three of those, so I'm going to go out and reward myself. He's like, no. I'm like, no, that's exactly what you said. Reward yourself for accomplishing your daily goals. I try to reward myself at least at every end of the month. That may not happen because I may not feel like I've completed what I wanted to complete. And he came back to me on that, and I wanted to make the comment of, why are we going to reward ourselves every day? We're going to develop a dependency on being rewarded for completing simple shit. And he went back to say, well, you completed all your daily objectives, haven't you? Well, yeah, that doesn't mean I'm going to go out and reward myself. I'm going to do what I do daily because I have to do it, not because I want to. And I gave the example of, it's like when you're counting calories and watching what you eat, what you eat. You do good for the 6 out of 7 days. And there's that almighty famous cheat day. So, you got two options. You can destroy your week's worth of progress and start from scratch next week. Or you can continue on the trend, but treat yourself to a dessert. Like a piece of pie, cake, a cookie, whatever it be. He didn't like that one. And it's like, I'm not going to allow myself to become one of the reasons that this generation is being called the entitled generation. Because we think we're entitled to everything that we see. And I even went on to say, if I didn't have to take this class, I wouldn't be sitting here through this bullshit that you're trying to teach and force upon us. I have no idea why it is a required class when someone who has numerous degrees is sitting there feeding us bullshit. It makes no sense to me. But then again, I don't run the schools or any of the curriculums, but I sure as hell would teach to both all types of people that learn, because everyone learns differently. I would teach a little bit to each specific way someone learns, whether it be verbal, seeing it, hearing it, saying it, or just doing it. A hands-on learner like myself, I can't sit here and look at a board and be like, all right. Give me some more, give me something that I can put this to use. Give me an outlet to do this. But again, I'm not the teacher, I'm not the head of the department or any of that. Nor would I ever want to be. I've got mad respect for the teachers, but I'd say something to my department board, the head of the department, to lose my job. Because I would speak my mind and say, hey, that's bullshit. I'm on the topic about school. Since when did math become online? Doing homework on the computer, online textbooks. Well, textbooks thing, yeah, almost every textbook can be available online. But since when do you do homework assignments online? No, give me pen and paper and have me walk it up to you and put it in your hand. Because that way you know I know what I'm doing. And it's easier to go over in class. So you're not sitting there searching through every problem on the assignment. It's right there. We have it in front of us. We can say, hey, number 12, I didn't understand how to do this, this, and this, and get this answer. Help me better understand it. And why the fuck would you have a quiz, chapter 1 and 2 test, and a chapter 4-5 test all due on the same day? That is insane. So that means, for everyone who likes to do everything at once, we're going to be stuck on campus. The mastery quiz, for those of us who've been out of school for a while, I'm going to say it'll take hour and a half. Especially if we really didn't pay attention in every math class from grade 3. The tests, all depending on how well you know the stuff, for me it'd be 40 minutes for chapter 1, 2. Chapter 4, 5, because that was where we dealt with fractions and decimals, and I'm going to say about an hour. So I'm going to be there for at least 3 hours. That is 3 hours out of my day that I have to devote to getting things done and not accomplishing what I need to accomplish outside of school. Again, this whole new schooling thing is such insanity. My little brothers are being taught math, and their teacher said, we're not worried about them getting the right answer, but making sure they know the process. What the fuck? No, you should be worried about getting the right answer and knowing how to do the process. And if someone comes along and teaches you a different way to do it, and you get the right answer every time, fuck, you know I'm going to take the one that gets me the right answer. It's not rocket science. You do step 1, 2, 3 and get this answer, and then you go back and plug this answer into steps 1 to the original equation to check if it works out. What's hard about that? And this whole generation's just going to fucking shit. We need teachers who are actually going to teach right, not force us to become entitled or say we need to reward ourselves every day. We need math to go back to the way it used to be. Big old heavy ass textbook, some worksheets, and some assignments out, some problems out of the book, and you do it. And then you take a test on paper. And when it comes time for the standardized test that the state forces upon us, that's probably the only time you should take a test on the computer, is when it is a state mandated test. That's the only time I can see taking tests on a computer in math class.